Boy, am I really doing this. Am I actually doing this? Am I attempting? You know, I gotta be real. If I had $1 for every time this week, and it's only Thursday, technically it's Friday now, but if I had $1 for every time this week, I shook my head at a CDPR related article, a CD Project Red related article, I would be a rich man right now. I would be a rich man. I'd be moved out of this house. I'd have a mansion. I'd have a fucking Bugatti on me. I'd have all the straps in the world. You'd believe it. I'd have the large, the mediums, the smalls. Some would be latex. Some would be made out of rubber. Some would just be pure rock. You're probably expecting me to talk about guns. I meant strap-ons. But this is another thing here. CD Projekt Red is getting out of control with these fucking articles, man. And I just realized something. I never even minimized the camera before exiting out of this, so this is going to be a beautiful travesty right now. We love our travesties here on this channel. But, as you can see here, remember when I said we should probably expect Witcher games in between this shit? Remember when I said that? That wasn't even yesterday. That was... And actually, considering I recorded that video at 6 o'clock, and I'm saying this now at 3 o'clock in the morning. I recorded that video at 6 in the morning. This video is recorded at 3 in the morning. It hasn't even been 24 hours, and I am right. This is the greatest shit ever. I'm getting handed gold on this channel, and it will never be viewed. I'm getting handed gold, and it will never be looked at by anyone but me in my spare time when I'm bored. The algorithm hates me. Or people just hate me. I'm okay with either explanation. But, yeah. 3 new Witcher games in 6 years, huh? Huh? What? Why? Yeah, why? Why? We are gonna hop into this article, see what we can pick apart. I just can't. CDPR. I'm not going to go into the rant on how they need to slow down. You already know if you probably didn't, but if you did go back and watch the other videos, they need to slow the fuck down. So Dev has confirmed this. Or wait, is it a dev? Yep, the Witcher dev. It's the whole company. God damn it, it's the whole development company. In more CD Projekt Red news, the Polish developer has outlined its upcoming plans for the Witcher series beyond the free next-gen update for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. In short, the team is now calling its upcoming saga a trilogy, and they're aiming to release said trilogy quicker than you might expect. Okay. Now let me skim through this to see if we can find... You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding me. What? There's no updates on... Oh my god. I need to honestly start shitting on pure Xbox next. Hold on, listen. Well, yeah. Listen, the next site on people who became a parody of themselves, even though I dearly love this place, is gonna be pure Xbox, because their articles are garbage sometimes. I don't know. That might be a next series video. I'm questioning it now because this is a pretty nothing burger article. But considering all the things we have been seeing out of motherfucking goddamn CD Projekt Red, even if this is a fucking empty article just saying, hey, they said this. Yeah, I'm concerned. Even if we have no data right now on how this is going to be, on the validity of this, and if it's going to, like, actually go forward like that, this is just what they're aiming to do. But, CD Projekt Red, what is your timeline here? What is your timeline? We have... God, I'm starting to sound like Review Tech USA. I really am. I'm starting to sound like a shitposting version of Review Tech USA at this point. What's your timeline? 12 years? 15 years? 20 years? For everything you're announcing? Because apparently Cyberpunk is going to get multiplayer. Apparently its sequel is going to get multiplayer. We're getting DLC for Cyberpunk. We're getting a confirmed sequel. I know I already said that, but I said it's multiplayer part first. We're getting a confirmed sequel for Cyberpunk. We still have no idea where that's going to take place either. I hope Phantom Liberty, the DLC that's coming out for the first game now, is going to leave some levity into where the second game can go. Hopefully. I hope. Because we haven't heard any plans on that either. You know, before you even talk about the second game, give us a hook, a line, a sinker, anything. But according to CD Projekt Red, they want to do all this fancy schmancy big game stuff. Big time stuff. Spider-Man big time. They want to go Spider-Man big time up in here. Apparently they want to do all this within like 7 years. What? Let me get this straight. Oh, I almost forgot. They have a new IP coming too. Before I even go on into the next part, they have a new IP in this, mixed into all this. So, 3 new Witcher games, Cyberpunk sequel, new IP. All of these are going to have multiplayer, apparently. And apparently this is all going to be done within a 6-7 year period, they're hoping to say. What? I'm just sorry. What? Let me take off the sunglasses. What? You couldn't even launch one game correctly. And again, I heavily praise Cyberpunk for everything it did that wasn't holding this fucking controller. I did this in the last video too. Everything that wasn't holding this controller and pressing buttons, oh my god, it was beautiful. The game is beautiful. The controller part of it sucks ass. But that's besides the point. You couldn't even launch that correctly. A game, a beautiful masterpiece, that me, someone who hated actually holding the controller and playing it, beat it 13 times. I beat it 13 times. I hate how this part of the game works. I hate how this part works. I can't stress that enough because I don't want you to think I'm a schmoz. A schmoz? What? I haven't heard that word said in ages. But it's like Cyberpunk is a masterpiece, but every part of controllerism it was horrible. Controllerism it. Make that a new term. But every part of that was horrible. And it wasn't launched correctly, man. The game aspect of the game was out the window. The game aspect of it was out the window. They couldn't develop that correctly. It was a beautiful masterpiece. Again, I beat it 13 times, but they couldn't develop it correctly, man. And mind you, I did that 13 before it was even fixed. That's right, I've taken a long-ass break from it. I've barely played it since all the updates came out that fixed it. I did those 13 playthroughs back when the game was dog shit. So yeah. So I'm not saying these IPs, these titles, these things aren't worth the scale. They definitely are. Let me get a sip of Mountain Dew. They definitely are worth the scale. But if you're going to do these things, you need to have a timeline for it. And the timeline is not 6 to 7 years. It's not. It's not even 10 years. Listen, I want you to look at the Call of Duty franchise right now. They were putting out titles yearly, not completely new and fresh. A lot of old ideas, a lot of things, a lot of items, a lot of everything was borrowed back, swapped around, hot swapped spit, had lesbian kisses on. Everything was passed around like it was hot garbage, okay? Everything was passed around in those games. You know, with Vanguard, you can't even tell what it is anymore because we have Advanced Warfare-style weaponry like the EM1 in there. So, I'm not going to say Call of Duty games are completely fresh, but those were new, conceptually at least, in the terms of maps, ideas, what that flow of that specific game was going to be, even if it was down in quality. I'm not going to lie, COD games have gone down in quality, don't let me bullshit you here. But those were still new and fresh every time, and they were doing that yearly. And even with that, they had 3 years before that most of the time. Now, that wasn't always true. We did have a period where they had 2-year development cycles. Don't get me wrong. But, hell, let's use a better example. Halo. Look at Halo 5 Guardians. And you're probably thinking, what, Halo 5? But think about it. That was the last original Halo title. Halo Infinite completely gone out with that. Halo 5 was the last, Halo-styled mission-like game. Halo Infinite is an open world with RPG aspects almost. Not really RPG aspects. It's very, 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 very light. Can't stress that enough. Very light RPG elements. It's essentially if Halo went Breath of the Wild on us. But it's like, yeah, Halo 5 was the last one. And look at that development cycle. And look at how many years they had behind that hot mess. Halo 4 was a long time before Halo 5. Keep in mind, Halo 4 wasn't even at the end of the 360's lifespan. It was getting there, but it wasn't even at the end of its lifespan yet. And the Xbox One still had to launch between this. So, and that's a shooter. And I'm talking shooters right now. Cyberpunk isn't necessarily a shooter. It's an open world shooter with RPG elements. There's a lot to that. It's more than an RPG element game. Like, fuck, man. They mix in so much different stuff with that. It's a cyberpunk genre game. That's all you could say about Cyberpunk. It's a cyberpunk genre game. It's the only game in recent years that has made, or rather redefined its own genre, I feel. But it's like, even look at the shooters. Look at their development time. Look at their time spans, is what I'm trying to say here. The most bogged down, simple games have had 4 to 5 year to 10-year development cycles. There are indie devs out there who have spent 12 plus, 13 plus years on some games. 20 plus in some instances. Fuck, man. Like, my favorite example is the 8-Bit Guy. He's an indie developer, and he doesn't even work with modern technology. That man works with old-ass retro tech, and you should look up the 8-Bit Guy. But he's an indie dev in a lot of cases. He develops his own games for those retro systems. And I believe for his first game, Planet X1, that was 2 years. On a modern-day perspective, too. That's a modern guy dealing with a vintage computer. There's a lot more knowledge in the brain of a modern computer user than an old one. And the 8-Bit Guy is fairly old, and he grew up using those computers, too. And it still took him 2 years on a machine he had been using his whole life, and a machine he was heavily proficient in. What do you want me to say here? Do I need to list any more examples? This time span that they're putting out is unrealistic. Even with a company of like, I don't know CDPR's numbers here, but let's say in the studio right now there are 300 people. That's not at all an accurate number, but let's say 300 people, and we'll look up the real number in a little bit. 300 people with everything they have planned out right now. I do not see in my head, or even if I were to actually sit down with a pad and pencil and a calculator next to me and go through this number-wise, I don't see how we're talking a less than 20-year development cycle for all this. Like, new IP, new Cyberpunk game, 3 new Witcher games, all gonna have multiplayer. What do you want me to say? We're talking like 20 years. Now, we're gonna look up how many I'm probably gonna misspell this, does CDPR of 550 CDPR. Okay. 550 people working at CDPR. Okay, so that's a lot higher than what I thought it was going to be, but fuck, man, what is that? 15 years? That's 15 years. Okay, yeah, you're adding 250 to my number. Let's reduce it by 5 years then. Okay, the math adds out there, at least in my quick estimate, in my head. I mean, do I need to say anything? We're all looking at this. And that should say employees, but I've been Johnny Von Duke, and I honestly don't think I can do this video any longer. I had a lot more I was going to say in my head, but oh boy. You know what? Hold on, wait. Before I exit this video out, I know I'm doing a fake, but you could probably look at the timestamp right now and tell how much time is left. Let's look up one last fucking thing. How, because this will set a precedent. It's actually less than that, believe it or not. Hot damn. Okay. You know what? Let's go a little bit bigger. You see that? There we go. I shouldn't have gone with 343. They're a single development team. Shouldn't have gone with 343. Probably should have said Microsoft, but yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad I didn't end the video. I discovered gold again. I'm glad I didn't discover. I'm glad I didn't end the video yet. I've discovered gold. I had a little bit fuck up there looking up the dev team before our company, but you know what? That's actually scary. Hold on. 343 Industries is 100 less than motherfucking CD Projekt Red. A development team is 100 people less than a fucking whole ass company. Let that sink in. And they're planning this in 6 years? 7 years? Hold on, what? Look at this number for fucking Activision right now. And that's probably smaller than Microsoft. It's probably a hell of a lot smaller than Microsoft. I'm going to look up Microsoft here in a second. Look at that. And CD Projekt Red with 550 is going to be talking 6 years, huh? Yeah, we're talking 20 again. Now that I've looked up numbers, we are talking 20 years again now. Not 15, we're talking 20 years again. Okay, how much does Microsoft have? I want to go up in scale here. Hold on. How much does Microsoft as a whole company have? Hot damn. Hold on. That's a... Yeah, here we go. Let's go up the chart. So CD Projekt Red is 550. 343 has 450. Activision is 9,500. And here is motherfucking Microsoft. We aren't even going to look up Sony. Fuck that. I might as well start looking at populations of states at this point, and towns, and cities, and countries, and blah, 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 blah. Damn, that Mountain Dew feels good. What is with this shit? Listen. Microsoft couldn't develop a console within 5 years. CD Projekt Red wants to do, like, a 20-year development cycle in 6 years with not even... I can't even say... What is that? Less than 20% of this? Less than 20% of 181,000... Oh my god, look at those years. Seriously! I know I'm degrading here. My mind is melting. Do you see this? CD Projekt Red, get your head out of the fucking sand. It's not happening. It's not happening. Unless you get to... Even if you get to Activision size in 6 years, you're not getting those out. You're not. You're really not. And fuck reaching Microsoft numbers, right? Fuck reaching Microsoft numbers. Actually, let that stick out further. Microsoft has 181... Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. That number scares me, man. That's enough for a small army. But yeah, and that's the company 343 works for. And they couldn't even get Halo 5 out on time. And they couldn't even get Halo Infinite out on time. With all these people. Hot damn, we got an extra 5 minutes out of the video. We did it, boys. I'm removing the sunglasses. I don't want to do this anymore. I have been Johnny Von fucking Duke. We have been exposing CD Projekt Red stupidity here. This is officially, I know I already called it this in a playlist, but this is officially getting called the CDPR arc. Because let me tell you, this is a fucking arc and a goddamn half of stupidity. They are not doing this. I am a single guy in my bedroom running the numbers in my head and doing blank-ass dumb research on Google, and I can already tell you this is not going to happen. There are going to be delays. There are going to be hella delays. And goddamn, I look tired as shit. And this camera is completely washing out my face. Not just that, but the fucking light, too. The light's not helping. Anyway, guys, Johnny Von Duke here. Stay sexy, stay loose, stay tipsy, stay drunk, stay high, stay energetic, stay motivated. Stay still like a fucking sloth and like the ghost that's probably behind me creeping out behind the camera several times. I know you're there, Jason. I know you're there, Jason. You stole me $5. That's why you're under the basement. Anyway, guys, drink water. Peace out. And I love every single one of yous who haven't even watched this video in 20 years.